Si se puede! Yes, we can!
We did it! We made it! Chapter 20, the last chapter of Dr. Stephen Lucas's The Art of Public Speaking, 13th edition. We made it! I'm going to share with you how to speak in small groups. Why do you need to know about speaking in small groups? Well, the truth is, it happens more than we think. The other truth is, teachers like me make their students give a speech in a group. Okay, so how do we speak in small groups? First, we need to know what a small group is. A small group is not two people. Two people is a dyad. A small group is 3 to 12 people assembled for a specific purpose. Good to know. There is the problem-solving group that is formed to solve a problem. There is, in every group, leadership. This is influencing the group to help them achieve their goals. Group leaders are the implied leader, the emergent leader, and the designated leader. The implied leader is a member to whom others defer because of their rank or expertise. So maybe if we actually had a group here in my basement studio, I would be the expert. Well, because I have a PhD in communication and I'm teaching about public speaking, which I've taught about for 20 years, so maybe you would defer to me, but you might not if the subject were different and the area of expertise were different. Please do not ask me to be the implied leader of a group that has to do with biology. I wouldn't do very well. An emergent leader is a member who emerges as a leader during group deliberations. Okay, there are plenty of people that emerge as leaders. I'm sure you have been part of a group where someone has taken the leadership role, the one who wants to get an A on the assignment, who is willing to do some of the work. They might emerge as a leader. There's also the designated leader, the member who is elected or appointed as the leader. So you might actually elect someone. You take ballots and you put them in a box, or they're collected and the leader is voted upon. There's also the appointed leader. Say I formed a group and I said, you are going to be the leader. That's what the designated leader is. You also have to keep in mind group needs. There are the procedural needs, the task needs, and the maintenance needs. Procedural needs. These are the routine housekeeping actions necessary for conducting group business. In other words, you need to reserve that room in the library or the conference room in your office. You need to make sure that people have food if they are hungry, that they bring notepaper and pencil or pen if that's needed. These are the housekeeping needs. Task needs are substantive actions necessary for a group to complete its tasks. So we need to get this done today, this done at our next meeting, and this done at our following meeting in order for us to get our group presentation or project done on time. Maintenance needs are the communicative actions that maintain relationships within the group. So you want to make sure that everybody is communicating and things are getting done on time. That's what maintenance needs are. And we don't want to have an outside agenda. We want to make sure that while we are in our group meetings, we are paying attention to group tasks and getting things done for the group. Group responsibilities. You want to stay committed to your group goals. You want to fulfill your individual assignments, avoid interpersonal conflicts, encourage full participation, and keep the discussion on track. Is it really necessary to have an interpersonal conflict with somebody in your public speaking group when that group is really only going to be together for a short term? I bet your instructor will know if you fulfilled your individual assignments and if you're committed to the group goal. Do not have a hidden agenda. This is what I was alluding to before. These are unstated individual goals that may conflict with the group goals. If you only want to see on the presentation, let people know that you only want to get a C. At least that way it wouldn't be a hidden agenda for those who want to get an A. The reflective thinking method is a 5-step method for directing the discussion. The steps of the reflective thinking method: define the problem, analyze the problem, establish a criteria for solutions, generate potential solutions, and then select the best solution to your problem. Again, we might look at a question of policy, whether a specific course of action should or should not be taken. Remember questions of policy from our persuasive chapter? Guidelines for discussion questions. Make your discussion questions clear and specific. Phrase them to allow for many answers. Remember, we talked about how to do open-ended questions back when we talked about interviewing. Avoid biased questions. In other words, don't lead them to the answer. And remember to pose just a single question at a time so that people in the group can really express their thoughts about each question posed and not try to lump everything together. Clear and specific. Ineffective would be, what should be done about on-campus security? More effective would be, what measures should our school take to improve on-campus security for students? Allowing many answers. Ineffectively would be, should the city build a new elementary school? More effective would be, what steps should the city take to deal with the increasing enrollment in the elementary schools? This allows for more answers. Avoid bias. Ineffective would be, how can we keep predatory student loan vendors from ripping off students? Woo! More effective would be, what changes, if any, should be made in the practices of student loan vendors? Posing a single question. Ineffective would be, what revisions should the college consider in its admissions requirements and in its graduation requirements? Wait, admission is how I get into the school and graduation is how I get out. I can't answer both of those questions at the same time. Thankfully, more effective questioning could happen. What revisions should the college consider in its admissions requirements? And a separate question, what revisions should the college consider in its graduation requirements? I can answer those questions. Consensus is a decision that is acceptable to all group members. Recommendations. You can give your recommendations via oral report, symposium, or a panel. An oral report is a speech presenting the group's findings, decisions, etc. An oral report is usually done by one person. A symposium is a public presentation in which people give speeches on different aspects of a topic. This is the one that I usually have students in my class do, a symposium speech. So each person in the group needs to give part of the overall speech. You can also do a panel discussion. I know these are popular also in some college classes. This is a structured conversation among people in front of an audience. I've been part of a few panel discussions. One for new students coming into the college where I got my degree or degrees. And I've also been part of some panels for communication conferences. One on communication in healthcare, one on public speaking classrooms, and so on and so forth. Panel discussions are popular. We did it! The end! Woohoo! Okay, I know that's maybe not how I'm supposed to end the speech either. I'm supposed to relate it to the beginning, right? I did that! In the beginning, I was excited that we were on the last chapter. In the end, I'm excited that we're on the last chapter and that we made it to the end. I hope you remember a little bit about what I told you about group speeches, though. Don't forget, speaking in a group is much harder than you think.